He is a former Philadelphia Eagle who has one of the great stories in the history of sports. It actually became a movie, which you know. He's a St. Joe's grad, made the NFL at age 30, yet did not play college football. He's now a motivational speaker. He's in town for the Philadelphia 100 Forum. Please welcome to A Gallon of Questions podcast, the great Vince Papale. Vince.
Nice.
The great Vince Papale. How are you, my friend?
Doing great. It's great to be back in Philadelphia.
Yeah, so you're in Florida full time now?
Jupiter, Florida, but Queen Village, as I call it, our pit stop.
I love it.
But going to be in town for a while, so I'm really excited about it.
How long?
I'll be here at least until the 28th, 29th.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I've got Ron Jaworski's golf outing coming up.
Sure.
A big event tomorrow night for Ken Dunnick and his PA man, Jersey man thing.
Yeah.
So that'll be exciting.
Yeah, talk about that. The Philadelphia 100 Forum as well?
Yeah, that's the big one right now. You know, going to be right up there at the Union Lake Golf Course, the one they took over, the old Eagle Lodge.
That's right, yeah.
And, you know, Wahlberg likes that course.
Oh, does he?
Yeah, he does.
Oh, all right, that's cool. My parents actually live up near there. We used to golf on the other course, on the other side of the street, John F. Byrne, because we couldn't afford the used to be Frankfurt Tarsdale Country Club, but that's a great place. So you've got a speaking event. When you have that kind of event, obviously as a motivational speaker, the intent is to motivate everyone in the crowd. What's the message then? How do you try to do that?
Well, you know, first of all, when I do a speech like tonight, it's almost like game day. You know, I woke up this morning and I knew something was going on.
Right.
You know, there's a little something going, and it's not nerves. It's just this thing.
Sure.
That's happening. You know, it's like almost pregame anxiety to get it going. But most of it's about, you know, obviously I did something that's never been done before, and something that was said could never be done.
Sure.
You know, it's impossible. It's undoable. You don't have a great resume. You didn't play college football. You're 30 years old.
Right.
You're a school teacher. You're a track guy. You don't have the skills. I'm hearing all that, but, you know, we're talking to a bunch of entrepreneurs. I'll be talking to about 50 or 60 of the top entrepreneurs in Philadelphia that have all been voted as that. And they had to go through basically the same trail that I had to go through, the same journey where there's been the naysayers, the doubters, you know, those
Sure.
creating all kinds of noise. And, you know, obviously I'm going to talk about overcoming obstacles, you know, what it takes to be invincible.
Right.
And, you know, and then forming an invincible team, you know, because they are I always look at a business as looking at it as a team, and, you know, teamwork makes the dream work, and talking about roles, responsibility, potential. And, of course, everybody wants to know the real story. You know, they want to know a little bit about Mark Wahlberg. They want to know about my love interest, who's now my wife
Sure.
for 2 years, Janet Papale, world-class gymnast.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Northeast High graduate, just like me. It's exciting.
Hall of Famer, just like
Yeah.
that wall,
That's
yeah.
right.
And so we have to play that in there as well. But, you know, the whole thing is upbeat. It's PowerPoint and video, and it's got a great Philly flair to it.
Sure.
Because we filmed the movie here, and I have about 20 videos that were done by, that I'll mix 3 or 4 of them in there, you know, and give it that Philly thing. And one great speech that's done by Greg Kinnear as Dick Vermeil,
Yeah.
about the soul of the team.
Sure,
It's
sure.
almost like Philadelphia, you know, the soul of the city. We like to think that we're a passionate city here, so it's a beautiful thing.
You know it.
Today I haven't shortened up. I'll just be warming up on this one. It's about 25 or 30 minutes.
Okay.
And then a Q&A afterwards.
Great.
Which will be a lot of fun. And, you know, just hanging out and meeting some great, very exciting, risk-taking people.
For sure. I'm glad that we could be like the pre-game to warm you up even more for tonight. So obviously, for those that don't know, I don't know how you wouldn't know this, but you are the story behind the movie Invincible with Mark Wahlberg. Great movie based on your life. We're now 2006, was it? So we're 16, 17 years since the movie came out. But why do you think the message still resonates?
Well, I think because right now, more than anything, with all that's going on, you know, people are getting knocked all over the place, you know, so they're looking for something.
Sure.
And the beauty about the movie Invincible is it's multi-generational. You know, you can. I've had so many kids come up to me under 10 years old. You know, oh, you're not Mark Wahlberg, you know, that kind of a thing. But you know, the different generations. But what it is, it gives that same message. You know, the impossible dream.
Sure.
And it's Disney.
And
you know, they did it right. And you know, it's got a beautiful Philly flair. I mean, we were here for 13, 14 weeks in Philly.
Yeah.
Everybody's staying here, and it's got a nice Philly touch to it. And you know, I think that's why it's so popular. It's something that anybody can jump onto and I find it's pretty cool. A lot of people will start their Eagles football season watching the movie Invincible.
I love it.
Like before their first game.
I like that.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
So take us back even before the film was made. What was that whole process like, and what was your involvement in the steps leading up to that?
Well, it was pretty interesting. I was actually contacted by the NFL Films. A young guy that was one of the young producers there, Pete DiStefano, came to me and he said, the NFL wants to honor the 25th anniversary of Rocky, the movie Rocky. So it's 25 years old, and you were always called the real life Rocky.
Yeah.
So this would be a natural. So on Monday Night Football, the Eagles were playing the 49ers, and Jerry Rice was the person they were going to feature from the 49ers.
Okay.
And it was me that was chosen, and we got the okay from Warner Brothers to compare me and do this comparison to Mark Wahlberg, to Rocky, and of course Sly Stallone. And when you know it, so here's Ron Jaworski, who was the host of Monday Night Football,
right,
with Stuart Scott,
mm-hmm.
The late great Stuart Scott,
yeah,
cool side of the pillow,
yeah,
and they're busting me big time, it's on YouTube,
Okay, I'll check it out, yeah.
Yeah, so it's there, and next thing you know, Hollywood's calling, and it was so cool, and then we had about 6 or 8, and it's funny because there were a couple of producers here in Philadelphia that passed on it. Now it'll go nowhere, same typical story.
Sure.
It'll go nowhere. Anyway, there was one guy who was a risk taker, and he decided to Ken Mock, and he created America's Next Top Model.
Mm-hmm.
So he decided to take a risk, and he hired a screenwriter who had written the Oscar De La Hoya story, and he had a couple of movies that came out, and he wrote a spec script. And then what they did in 2004, they took the script and they gave it to about 6 or 8 producers to take it to their favorite wherever, movie people.
Mm-hmm.
And the guys that did Miracle and Rookie, Mark Ciardi and Gordon Gray, took it to Disney. And as soon as Disney saw it, there was a kid from South Philly that saw the script. It's just coming across his face into the Buena Vista Pictures where it was at. And he read the script and he just said, you got to go with this. And they were looking for a sports movie.
Wow.
And when you know it, it was greenlit in 2005. Mark Wahlberg becomes me, and Gray Kinnear is, Elizabeth Banks is Janet.
Yeah.
That's how it came. And it came out Labor Day '06.
Sure.
Ran number 1 in the box
Yeah.
office for
Yeah.
weeks, but did about $30 million.
Remember it well.
It was pretty good.
So what's it like then to have? I mean, he's one of the great actors, most well-known actors of our time, Mark Wahlberg, playing you. I mean, it's like you're synonymous now almost.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy, and he was great to work with.
Sure.
And I really didn't know much about Mark, Marky Mark from the first months, but did some research on him, and I actually, when I saw Basketball Diaries and looked at his athleticism,
Yeah.
I said,
Athlete.
He's an athlete.
Yeah.
So what they did is, prior to the filming of the movie, in Northeast High School, by the way, we trained for 2 weeks.
Is that right?
All the football players in the movie were Arena Football League players.
Right.
So we had to get, all the sets down and get it. So I was training Mark for 2 weeks at Northeast High School prior to when they started filming.
How about that?
It was pretty cool. And I set up some of the special team set.
Sure.
With Mark Ellis, who was in charge of the second unit.
Okay.
And he did so many sports movies. It's crazy. And so it just had the perfect fit, had the perfect match, and man, the guys from NFL Films, after they saw the editing, said you can't even tell that this was edited out. It looked like the real thing, and it was.
Sure.
I mean, these were Arena Football League guys, and it was hot. It was nasty out there. Actually, we filmed some of them at Central High School.
Okay.
And it was muddy at times, and fights would break out, and kept it in the scene, and it was pretty cool. It was real football. Guys were going after each other pretty good.
Incredible. When you think back to your football career and you think back to how improbable the entire thing was, is there a key moment in the lead up to you making the Eagles where you realize like this might actually happen?
Yeah, it was. It was the Miami Dolphins game. It was the 4th preseason game, and I was doing pretty well. Making catches and start making the hits. They put me in special teams, and coach came up to me. I'll never forget. We're staying at the Fontainebleau in Miami, and we have a night game at the Orange Bowl.
Yeah.
I mean, the one that you see all the time on New Year's Eve here in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
While we're freezing, and you see the palm trees.
Yeah.
And Coach said, "You ready?" And I said, "Ready for what?" I said, "I was born ready, Coach." And he said, "You're starting tonight." I said, "We're going to sit Harold down. He's a little banged up, and I want to see what she can do." Well, that was it. And that night, in the first half, I had 5 catches, a couple of special teams hit, a couple of hits and blocks downfield, and I used to block the way people didn't block. I would go right for their waistline and take them out.
Sure.
And got in a couple scuffles. And after the game was over, the press was coming up, and they said, "What do you think your chances?" I said, "Well, I went from partly cloudy to partly sunny." And the next morning, Coach Vermeil had a video, and he says, "I'm going to show you something." He says, "I want you to take a look at this guy. Everybody thought he was a joke." He said, "But he's going to probably wind up making the football team." And that video was me. And he showed the catches, he showed the blocks, he showed the audibles to the sight adjustments that I made because I could read the defense. And I couldn't wait to get out of that meeting and call my dad. I said, "Dad, I think..."
Did you have goosebumps in there a little bit?
I think we're going to pull this one off. And then, after we had 6 preseason games.
Right. You played a lot of preseason games.
And after I found out I made the team. He never told me until I got out on the field.
Really?
Yeah. And then he says, "Congratulations, old man. You're a Philadelphia Eagle. Welcome to the team." So I said, "Can I make a phone call?" Because we were set up for baseball too.
Yeah.
With the Phillies, because I knew there was a payphone in the Phillies dugout. And I made a collect call to Westinghouse, where my dad had been working for about 1 million years. And I got a hold of the shop steward. And in the background, you get him, Kingy, we did it. And but we couldn't use that scene in the movie because it was similar to Rudy.
Kingy, Rudy, yeah.
So we had to create a scene where that was in the locker room, and I pushed the playbook to him, and then he pushed it back. Said, "You might want to hold on to that one for a while." And that was a great substitute scene. I love it.
Wow, that is amazing. Dick Vermeil obviously played a huge role then in you getting, your spot, the role, obviously. What's, for those that don't know him that well, what's he like? What kind of guy is he?
Oh, he's fantastic. He's still a great friend. He loves Janet right here. And he loves our son Vinny.
Yeah, Vinny, right?
USFL,
yeah.
And he's his number one advocate, and our total family. And he's just he's a man's man. He's a millennial man. He's got so many other interests, especially wine.
Wine, yeah.
And race cars.
Yep.
Yeah, his father did the open wheels back then.
Mm-hmm.
And he was a teacher, so we had a lot in common.
Sure.
Because I was a teacher at Interboro High School, coach at Interboro, and teacher, coach, and he played a little ball. I played 1 year of high school ball, but the thing is that once you became one of his, and that nobody could outwork this guy, and once you became one of him and one of his, then you were his forever.
Sure.
And for me, he just gave me the opportunity, and I really, it's okay, this really isn't.
Yeah.
And after the tryout was over, 15 minutes later, I'm signing a contract for my beloved Eagles. And, as Elizabeth says, and I was a season ticket holder.
Yeah.
So that was cool too.
That is unbelievable. I'm glad you brought up your son, Vinny, playing in the USFL Memphis Showboats, right? He's still with Memphis. Is he coming to Dad all the time, like looking for advice, all that stuff?
No, he doesn't.
Not anymore?
Mom will give him advice. She's smiling over there, but Janet will give him advice. I coached him forever.
Sure.
He was 6 years old in the youth leagues in Cherry Hill. And so I just stay back. And what my role is with him is I'll point a few things out that he does positive. I'm a believer in the potential is find somebody doing something right. And, and I'll see some things because of my experience that, an adjustment he might have made. Maybe it was subtle, but it was an adjustment
Sure.
that got him open, got him into the end zone. So it's fun to watch. He's got one more game left coming up. We're going to be heading out to Memphis.
Oh, great.
Here, on Friday for the last game against Birmingham. There's a slight chance they get in the playoffs, but his dream and his goal is the NFL. And rumor has it there's a couple of teams sniffing out there. And he's leading his team in reception.
Sure.
He's leading the league in tackles right now, special teams. So.
Well, like father, like son, right? Another Invincible story. We'll see if it happens.
The acorn in the tree or something like that. Yeah.
I'm sure with it being your hometown team, you had season tickets for 10 years. You played for the team. You're paying attention to what the Eagles have been doing recently. Last year was such a fun ride because it kind of came out of nowhere with the way that Jalen Hurts became a franchise quarterback. What excites you about this team? They're just so talented, it seems.
They've got tremendous talent, and Jalen, I mean, $185 million guaranteed.
That's not bad.
Yeah, that's not too shabby. I think more than anything, it's just the passion of the team and the youth and the coaching staff. And, coach has lost a couple of his key, coordinators.
Sure.
So it's going to be an interesting adjustment for them. And they had a great draft. But, Pat, as you know, because you're an athlete, you got to perform. You got to
Sure.
get it done.
Sure.
And, there's a lot of guys that came in that had all the accolades and, they wore all the jewelry. But, they got to get it done on the field on Sunday. So we'll see. But the thing is now, nobody's going to take them for granted. So
that is true.
Much more difficult. And
they've got a really tough schedule next year, too.
Oh, my God. It's incredibly brutal. Yeah. So, but that's the price you have to pay for the great year that they had.
Sure.
They could have won.
I know. So close.
Yeah, it was so and one of the big plays, of course, is the special teams, giving up that punt and field position. And, there was a lot of irony in a couple of those plays, that were designed by somebody that used to coach the Eagles.
Yeah.
So
yep.
it was interesting.
I find that, the Eagles are one of the standard bearers as far as franchises around the NFL. They have had such a great run, and you've got, the goal is to find a great head coach. The next goal is to find a great quarterback. But I don't think you can overlook just how important Jeffrey Lurie has been to the Eagles' success, because we see a lot of ownership around the NFL that likes to meddle, that likes to poke their head in maybe where it shouldn't be. But Jeffrey Lurie, since he's been here, has really given this team stability, which I think is important. What does he mean to you on a personal level? And then when you look at it from that perspective, how important is it to have an owner that kind of, obviously it's his team, he can do what he wants, but that knows his role in all of this?
Well, Jeffrey's Jeffrey, and he's the owner of the Eagles, and he's there, and I'm here, and we have a casual relationship.
Okay.
The movie Invincible. It's I'm just this local guy, and we're friendly.
Yeah, sure.
His job and role is just make sure that the money's rolling.
Right.
No, and Howie, he's done a great job.
Howie's done a great job.
Howie's made some pretty good decisions, and it was a little rough in the beginning, but now he's got it rolling. So the thing is, I think, and the role that they need, just don't meddle. And they've given Sirianni, they've given Nick that opportunity to make the choices that he wants to do
Sure.
in terms of his coaching staff and the draft and those kinds of things. And I think once that happened, you could just see a meteoric rise in what's going on with the Eagles. And like I said, it's a young staff, and these guys that, one of my buddies is a doctor, and he tells me, about these guys in the locker room and how different it is. It's
sure.
like a collegiate locker room.
Yeah.
It is. But then you have Jason Kelsey there, to just keep everything level.
He's unreal.
It doesn't get any better than that.
It does not get any better than that. We've been lucky to have some of the great athletes in Philadelphia history, come through here that really take the city and wrap their arms around it. And Jason Kelsey is one of those guys. He's a legend not only on the field but off the field too. That guy's incredible.
I know he's just fantastic, and he played a great role in my son's recovery, because I'll never forget one time Vinny had surgery, and he had the same injury that Jason had. And we had just come out. I think we had come out because of NovaCare. They were checking him out using the docks there, and we went over to Chickies, and there was the Eagles having their radio show.
Yeah. Okay.
And so I walked up to him on a timeout, when they were at a commercial break, and I said, "Hey, I'm with my son here, and he's on crutches. He had the same injury you had." He said, "Would you give him a couple minutes when you get done?" He says, "You got it." So after the show was over, I said, "Vinny, somebody's going to come up and talk to you in a minute." Who's that? I says, "You'll see." So I think. And then after the show's over, he says, "Dad, take a walk. Let me talk to your son." And for 15 minutes, he talked.
That's awesome.
And I'll never forget that.
Wow.
Yeah, I'll never forget. And who will ever forget the speech?
After the Super Bowl, the whole thing. Great guy.
It's just so Philly. It's just perfect.
No doubt. Are you still like a diehard? Are you dying on Sundays same way you always did?
Yeah, but it's a little bit different now, because I'm down in Jupiter, Florida, and Doug Peterson, with my wife Janet, she's been his realtor since 1999.
Oh wow, yeah.
So we're big Jags fans as well.
Very cool.
And we'll go up to Jacksonville every once in a while.
Great to see the turnaround there. It was like almost instant with Doug. He's a great coach. Okay, before I let you go, since my last name's Gallen, what I like to do is we fill a gallon We throw some random questions in here. We pull them out and we see if we can answer them. What do you think? Are you in?
Let's go.
All right, let's do it.
Shout out to my daughter Gabriella.
Absolutely.
She's Syracuse grad, and also Gabby and I have a podcast called Gabby with Invincible.
I love that.
Yeah, which is pretty cool.
I'll make sure we check it out.
She's working with Janet, doing real estate with Janet. So here we go.
Excellent. All right, first question. Let's say you were an Invincible comic book superhero. Which would you be and why?
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man, why?
Why? Just because he has those great hands. It's just awesome.
I love it.
Not Superman.
Who's your favorite actor other than Mark Wahlberg?
Oh my God! Who's my favorite actor? Oh, I'm Janet. Who's the guy? You know, we like him so much because he plays in Saving the President. I can't think of his name.
Saving the President.
We just watched him in his film. Too many hits to the head.
That's all right. We'll come back. When's the last time you spoke to Mark, by the way?
We've been texting mostly, so I spoke to him. I guess after I sent him actually a video of the hit that he took in the movie, and he FaceTimed me back, and he said, "See this guy behind you?" And I said, "What's that?" And he said, "That's my chiropractor from that hit." Yeah. So it's been about a year, but we do a lot of texting.
Great.
Yeah.
How many times did you see Dick Vermeil cry?
Well, just a couple times. He wasn't. It was just obviously after we got into the Super Bowl.
Sure.
And a lot when he had to retire. It was tough for him.
Yeah.
With that retirement and then strike going on. The strike really hurt him personally.
Yeah.
And but it's maybe a couple 3 times. It's not as much as everybody would.
Sure. Favorite place to visit when you're in Philly?
Favorite place to visit when I'm in Philly? I like just going to the stadium area.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I like going to Franklin Field to Plaster, where, that's
So historic, so
stuff
awesome over
there,
there. Okay, what's more difficult, preparing for a football game or preparing for a motivational speech?
I think preparing for a motivational speech.
Yeah?
Yeah, the football came easy. You got so many different personalities you have to deal with. Tonight's going to be fun, though. I'm really looking forward to that one.
If you could go back in time and play in one game, which would it be?
Oh, it would have definitely been that game back there when it was Green Bay and the Packers, the Ice Bowl.
Oh, yeah. All right. Let's see. We got 2 more. Favorite athlete to watch right now?
Favorite athlete to watch right now?
Who do you enjoy?
Probably. Right now, I think it's got to be Gallen.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Not a bad answer.
Or Tyree over in the Sixers. He's a lot of fun.
Tyrese Maxey. Yeah, he's awesome. Teammate who taught you the most about football?
Oh, it had to be, Dennis Franks, the late, may it rest in peace, Dennis, and Ron Jaworski. Yeah, Ron Jaworski, one of the best teammates ever.
All right, last one. The hardest hit you ever took on a football field. Who was it?
A guy by the name of Charles, I'll talk about that tonight. Charles Phillips, Oakland Raiders. I was about ready to put a hit on a return guy, and out of nowhere came a stud mixer and he earholed me, and I wound up on the wrong bench. I was out on my feet.
Oh, man.
Everything's in black and white here. I was on the Raiders bench. Yeah,
Never forget. You forgot a little bit of it, but not all of it.
Back then, they didn't have a concussion protocol.
No, they did not.
Smell salts, take a sniff. How many fingers? 3.
Yep.
Okay, there we go. What's your name?
Unbelievable.
Yeah,
Different time.
That's the way it was.
Vince, thank you so much for coming in. Great to meet you. Enjoy the event tonight. Always great to have you in.
Yeah, you too.
All right, take care. Thank you.
Thank you.